I am going to invite you to join with me in a 21-day Embracing Our Scraps challenge. I have designed this block. It's called Embracing the Scraps, and we are going to actually use our scraps to create a beautiful quilt. Hi, I'm Mary from Joyful and Mary Quilting. Welcome to another episode of my scrap busting journey. If you missed my video, which is called Organize Fabric Scraps Like a Pro, the link is in the description, and we also have a PDF with the whole scrap busting method in a nutshell available on our website, joyfulandmaryquilting.com/scraps. Don't forget to like and don't forget to subscribe if you'd like to see more of these videos. So let's get going on organizing our fabric scraps. When we talk about this very subject, it can be so overwhelming, and for me, organizing and then using those fabric scraps is truly an ongoing process. My most recent project is organizing my Lori Holt and Riley Blake fabrics by Moda. I love those two designers. I love the fabrics. I usually will buy a fat quarter stack, sometimes a jelly roll, sometimes a layer cake, and there's always something left over. I don't want to throw those pieces away, so I put them in my bin dedicated to those particular designers, and it's time to scrap bust. So I've done a little bit of that already. You can see that I have some of them already separated into categories according to my scrap busting system, but I've got more to do. What I want to do is organize them all into scraps, and then I want to put them into a great quilt. So I designed this simple foundation pieced scrappy block pattern, and it just works really well with this system. So I'm determined to get this done, but I wanted to make it even more fun. So I have set a goal. I work really well with goals. I set a goal to complete my quilt, my whole quilt, and it's going to be a 52.5 by 67.5 inch quilt, so it's a pretty good size throw. I'm going to finish it in 21 days or less. In addition, I'm going to invite you to hold me accountable. So each day, beginning today, I'm going to post a video with my progress. I'm going to cut my strips, then I am going to cut all the pieces I need for this particular quilt. My sample block is displayed right here. Today is day number 1, and I want to show you what I've completed for today. Now, as I was doing all of my cutting that I have here to show you, I came up with a really great idea. I thought, why should I be the one having all the fun here? So I am going to invite you to join with me in a 21-day Embracing Our Scraps challenge. We're going to work together. I've got some goals set. You can work faster if you want, but I plan to finish at least 3 blocks per day with sashing. 3 blocks per day. This is our block. I'll have a little wiggle room if I do a little bit extra one day and maybe a little bit less the next day, but basically on an average, I need to have those 3 blocks completed in order to reach my goal in 21 days. So by day 17, I should have my quilt top assembled with sashing, and then I'll have 4 days to go to add the borders, to quilt it, and to bind it. So what do you think? Would you like to join with me? Let's take a look at what I completed on day 1. First of all, we have our PDF that I have downloaded, Embracing the Scraps. That's important because it has a section that tells you all of the pieces that you'll need for 48 blocks. You'll need to cut those from all those strips that you cut when you were scrap busting. So I did that, and if you look here, I like to put mine in these little containers. They don't match, they're just ones that I had. You can get them at the dollar store, Walmart, Target, wherever, but they really hold the pieces that we're going to use nicely. So let's just go over what's on the list. It's underneath the section that says fabrics needed for a complete 48 block quilt. It's about halfway down the page of page 1. So first of all, the scraps that we need, any color, doesn't matter. We need 48 2.5 inch squares. So I have 48 2.5 inch squares, and I printed some labels on there just so that I can grab them quickly. I also need 48 3.5 inch squares. So I have my 48 3.5 inch squares. Now these, you'll see, will be cut on the diagonal, and that'll all make sense to you as you go through the pattern. Then we need 192 of our 3.5 inch by 2 inch strips. I have a little bit more than that. Actually, I have a little more of all of them just so that I don't end up my last block having any fabrics that are the same. So I do have a little extra, 3.5 by 2. The next on the list is we need 96 1.5 by 5 inch rectangles and 96 1.5 by 4 inch rectangles. You can cut all those from those 1.5 inch strips that you cut. They're a little oversized, but that's okay. We'll just trim those back. We also have some 1.5 inch by 7 inch strips that are going to be on our block. It's really important that we have this contrast in the block, so don't shortchange yourself on these. They need to either be a white solid, a white tone on tone, or like I have, a white that's predominantly white that may have a little bit of a pattern in there. Also, you're going to be needing some yardage. This is the only piece of fabric that I have the same throughout the quilt, and that's for my sashing fabrics. I have my 2-inch squares that I'm using for my cornerstones of the sashing, but I also have these strips that will be used for the sashing fabrics, and those again will be the same all the way through the quilt. So you can see that I've worked really hard. I have finished all this and I am ready to piece my first block. This is my sample block. I tested it out. I just think it's really important to test your blocks one block just to make sure that everything fits, that you're good to go. So you may actually do that test before you do your final cut on anything. Check and recheck, measure twice, cut once to make sure that all of these pieces are cut to size, and tomorrow we are going to report on what we've completed for day number 2, so stay tuned. I am always trying to be joyful, but I will always be merry. See you tomorrow.